What's going on, everybody? Coach Al here, and today I want to do another formation breakdown in NCAA Football 06. Today I want to cover ace empty. You haven't seen me use this formation a lot. It's got some good plays, it's got some bad ones. We'll cover them all. So let's get right into it. The personnel at default with this formation is a 10 personnel, meaning it's got one halfback or one running back and 0 tight ends. It's your basic 4 wide receiver set. Okay, as you can tell here, you got 2 wide receivers on the left and 3 on the right, but your number 1 halfback is right off the edge of the right tackle. It may look like it's 5 wide, but it's technically 4 wide receivers and 1 running back. With that being said, let's look at the sub packages. Here is your default. Next, we have strong slots, and what that does, it takes your top 2 receivers who were originally on the outside, to move them inside. Now, number 11 and 25 are in the slot positions. Next, we got the 5 wide receiver sub package. It is as it sounds. It's your top 5 receivers on your roster. Next, we got tight end slot. Your tight end replaces your halfback that's right beside the right tackle. Next, we got backup quarterback, self-explanatory. Halfback sub, again, self-explanatory. Wide receiver strong right. It puts your top 2 receivers on the right side. You see 11 and 25 on the far right. Next, you got wide receiver strong left. Exactly as it sounds, you got your 2 top receivers on the far left. And this should be the last one, cornerback slot. It puts your top cornerback in the slot, which was on the right side. So those are all of the sub packages. Now let's talk about the motions. Let's go ahead and pick a basic drop back pass play so we can see them all. Okay. As soon as you hit your down button on the D-pad, it goes to your halfback. Now, he's got 2 options. He could go to the left, goes to the other side of the line. You can put him back where he was, or you can go right, and it splits him out even further. You see him go out to the right a little bit further there. Okay. Next up is your right slot. He can only go in one direction, which is to the left. Becomes a slot player on that side. Okay, the next up, we have the Z receiver, which is 25. No different than the other slot player. You go over to the left, and that's it. Next, we have our top receiver, which is X. He can only do one thing, which is go to the right, and he goes all the way to the other side. Now you kind of have a quads look, which is pretty cool. I need to fool around with that some more in the future. Next, you have the slot on the left side. Again, it's no different than the other receiver on the left. You can put him over to the right. You can form a quads look. And that is it for your motions. There's not much else to it. Pretty standard stuff. Okay? There are not many run plays in Ace Empty, but we will cover them first. Let's start off with QB draw. And we'll go up against dime for all this, because that's more than likely what you'll go up against when you go with this set. Sometimes you'll go up against nickel, but for now we'll just go against dime. We'll do random formation, which is fine. Okay, with QB draw, technically you can hot route left or right. I think default is at right. You could tell here, it looks like it's dead straight, but I can hit triangle to the right, and he supposedly probably shifts a tad bit more to the right. If you feel like you need to run to the left, you can hot route and hit the D left pad or left button on the D-pad, and he can somewhat go left. I don't think there's a whole lot to that, so I wouldn't worry too much about doing it. But if you feel like it, you can supposedly hot route him in either direction. Now, what this does is when you snap the ball, he'll act like he's going to look for a pass, and then he'll just run with it. The best solution I've found with these from under center is to let the computer handle the drop back. And once that's finished, then you take over the quarterback. So here we're going up against man. It looks like the safeties are coming up, so we're probably going to get some blitzing of some sort. We're going to try to go to the left side just because we have an impact defensive end on the other side. But what I'm going to do, as soon as I snap it, I'm going to not do anything and wait until the 1 to 2 second drop back part is done, and then I'm going to take him over. At that point, I'm not going to do much speed button. You know me, I'm not a big speed button guy. I think it bogs down your player somewhat. It's good for top end speed and trying to get to the end zone, but when you got bodies in front of you, it's probably not best. And in this case, it's the same way. So let's go ahead and try it. There we go. Now, we're not going to get a whole lot of yards out of it because they did blitz. So we'll try this again. Here they're going zone. It's like any other run play. You try to find gaps up the middle or any hole you can find. We'll try to go left again. And I'm going to let it do its thing. And I made a good gain right there. And what I done was, as soon as I snap it, I'm not touching anything. I'm letting the computer handle this part. And as soon as he makes his turn, then you go into running mode. And do not use the speed button here. Again, if you use the speed button, he can't turn as quickly. He doesn't have as much agility. I was able to cut up the field. It's zone, and I saw a hole right in front of me. So I took it. And I was able to pick up 7 yards. So not a bad play at all. Okay, let's try it again. They're going man. Here they're spread now. We could try to go right, I guess, because that linebacker is on the left side. I'm going to just let it do its thing, and we're going to pick up a really good gain here. Again, let's go back and look at that. I snap it, and I'm not touching anything at this point. I'm letting the computer handle the drop back part. And then once it gets to this point, then I got control of them. And now I can use the speed button because there's literally nobody in front of me. Just good blocking everywhere. But you can see that after those past 2 plays what you can do with QB draw. It's not bad. Again, don't abuse the speed button. Let the computer handle the drop back and just find holes if you can. Here's another really good example. We'll break this play down. We'll zoom it out here. They went zone, I think. But as soon as I snapped it, I saw the 2 nickel backs, the 2 inside corners, coming to blitz. So I know I have no chance on the outside. So I'm going to let the computer handle the drop back part. And as soon as I take him over, I'm going to go right up the field. Thankfully, there's a bit of a hole right in front of me. And I'm able to pick up a solid, 6 yards? Yeah, 6 yards. Just a good gain. And use the same few instructions with any QB draw from under center. Works pretty well. Now, unfortunately, that's probably the best run play in this formation. There's 2 other run plays, and we will cover them now. The next one is halfback option. Okay, we'll go up against dime. That's fine. Okay, they're going man here. The problem with halfback option is you cannot change the direction of the run. It is what it is. You can flip the play and go to the other side. The problem is the defense will go the other direction. And we are running to the right side of the field. So the defense knows how to combat you flipping the plays. So you're kind of stuck. That's one of the bad things about this play. But either way, it can still be used if the blocking is there and you know how to handle the speed button or lack thereof. Okay? Again, it's basic halfback option, but just try not to abuse the speed button and see if you can get something out of it. This is a great example right here of what you have to do when you're not using the speed button. We'll zoom out a little bit. We have to go left because we can't flip the run. And they shifted their defensive line to that side. Now, we know about 100% of the time that defensive end is going to come through. So I know I have no chance going in that direction. But since I have full control of the quarterback and I am not using the speed button, I can use him much more effectively. His agility is much more effective. And I can cut up field as such and make a positive gain out of the play. Otherwise, I would have got stuffed in the backfield if I had kept going left. Okay? Again, the defensive line is shifting in that direction, so I just have to wing it. I can flip it, but it's not going to get me anywhere because they're just going to do the same thing. So, again, you just take your best chance in these situations. That's just great. We actually got very lucky there. The offensive line blocked pretty well at this point, except for my center. My center got pushed back really hard. Otherwise, I had a lot of room on the left side to do some damage. But since my center got blocked pretty well, or got stuffed pretty well right there, I was able to turn around again, no speed button, and was able to get at least something out of it. Let's do this a few more times to see if we can get... Okay, this is a little bit better. At least they're not shifting to that side. We'll just snap it, and you notice we're going to get a good gain out of this. Okay, let's look at this again. We're going man. I snap on the ball, and I notice they're blitzing that corner, but that's not super important. Good thing is our offensive line blocked pretty well. Now, again, I'm not using the speed button at all right here. I'm using it until I get to about right here. Again, my rule is if there's nobody in front of you as such right here, you can use the speed button. Here's when I started getting away from the linebacker. And then at this point, it's just a pitch, basic option stuff right there. So it's a decent play Just know that you can't flip the direction of the run, and just don't abuse the speed button. Okay? And one thing we can try before we move on. Let's see. They're going man, and they're doing the same thing. I've tried it this way as well. You can motion the halfback over, but it didn't really help a whole lot. I mean, he's just kind of standing over there. The only advantage I see to that is if you kept him over here, he may get blocked or gets, I don't know, get stuck on a right tackle's foot or something. If you keep him over here, I guess he doesn't have as much opportunity to get blocked or get bogged down in any way. So maybe it's you're an advantage to keep your halfback on the side of which side of you are running. Just something to think about. Okay. Now let's go to the third run play. And it's speed option. Okay. We'll go on this side. Speed option is no different than halfback option in that you can't flip the run, which is very unfortunate. It is what it is. So you're kind of stuck here. Now speed option, the biggest problem it has, besides what I just showed you, was you have a little less control over your quarterback initially. He has so much momentum coming off the snap, you kind of have to be really careful. Like, as you can tell here, the defensive line is shifted to our right. That means I'm probably going to get stuffed. We can try. Yeah, we got pretty decent blocking there. Better than I expected. Either way, here's a good little teaching point. I'm not using the speed button whatsoever. I got a good block by the right tackle, thankfully. And thankfully, that nickelback decided to cut in, and our slot receiver was able to get a block there. Now, I got nobody in front of the quarterback, as you can see that line of sight, and I can use the speed button at this point. Then it's your basic option. It's much quicker. You have just a little less time to decide where you need to go up the field, go to the outside, that type of thing. Again, they're shifting in that direction. That's a good pickup by the right tackle. Pick up a good run play there. Now, they're shifting in that direction. This is great for us, but say we wanted to flip it, of course, the defense is going to do the exact opposite, which we don't want. So there's no point in flipping plays with this one or halfback option. But thankfully, in this situation, the defense is shifted to the opposite side of the run. So we should be able to pick up some decent gain here. And it looks like we're going to. We'll pick up a solid 8 yards or so. Okay? That's kind of all you really know about speed option. Here, I'm going to try to force myself to go left. And I'll show you how hard it is due to the momentum of the speed option itself. You notice right there, as soon as I snap it, I'm obviously not using the speed button. I'm turning myself back around, but it's kind of slow just because with a speed option play, your momentum kind of takes over that first half second or so. So you really have to force it to go to the opposite direction if needed. Okay, that's just what's going to happen there. But otherwise, it's a good play. It could be better if he was able to flip the run, but you can tell you can make some plays out of it in the right situations. Okay? Now, that is it for the run plays. The rest of it is passing, as you would expect, since it's a really spread type of formation. So what we're going to do is go to practice type. We're going to go to pass skeleton. That way you don't see 100 million sacks during this video. And we're going to start with our first play, which is slot hitches. Now, you see that on the left. It's a mirrored concept, except you have a post route on the right side going towards the middle of the field, right to left. In my situation, in my personal opinion, I think it's better off as a right hash play. Of course, you could flip it, but as is, you could do, I would treat it as a right hash play because you got your go post on the right side of the formation. So let's just go with that. We'll go up against a dime. That's fine. Okay. They're going man here. The only problem with this play is there's not a lot of good man beaters. Of course, you got two go routes. They're fade outs. Or not fade outs, sorry. They're more fades than true goes. They take a little bit longer to develop. This play would actually be better if they were straight goes, but they still work just fine. But outside of the goes, all you really have is the post. Your hitches, it's very risky to go up against those. So what we can do, we can make this even more simpler. Let's go slot hitches, and let's go with a cover zero beater. Fire green or just something. We'll just go gold double. Just want to do something basic where I probably won't get. Let's do double quarterback spy. Just whatever. Okay. So pretend that it's going to be cover 0 after the snap. Of course, you got your 2 fade routes that you could do some damage with, but you have to give them a little bit of time to do their thing. You can't just throw it really quick. You have to wait, and then you can throw it, and then you could probably make a play with it, as such right there. Notice I waited a tad. If it was a go route, I could have thrown it like right here, but I had to wait an extra second for him to do his thing. Once he's cutting up field, then you can toss it. You notice the trajectory of the ball by the quarterback. It was much better than that first throw. Ended up getting a touchdown out of it. Okay, we can go to the other side as well. Again, just give it a little bit of time, then you can go over the top, and now it becomes a basic go route. Big play right there. Or if you want another cover 0 beater, you can obviously go to the post route if your halfback can get open, and we get a touchdown right there. Okay, but these hitches are a little bit more tricky. Against man, you're taking a shot. I don't trust them. They're no different than a curl to me. I think a defender can do that right there. So your man beaters, in my opinion, are best to the fades and to the post. Okay? That's all you really kind of need to know about man. Again, that's its weakness. Its strength is zone. So we'll go back to slot hitches. We'll go dime, and we'll go cover 2. Your cover 2 beaters are definitely your post route if you got the time, and your short side hitch. It's basically a stick concept on the right side, except you got a post instead of like a swing route. Okay, so for cover 2, you get towards the middle of the field. Oh, I called the wrong play, possibly? We can try that again. Maybe because I'm doing a pass skeleton. Let's cover 2. Yeah, I picked the wrong play. That was smart. Okay, say you got cover 2, you got your post over the middle. Good little play there. Or, like I said, you have your hitch on the right. Try to give it to him. Little quick 7-yard play right there. I love hitting the little inside hitch. Makes me feel like I'm running the air raid. Get a little 5 yards right there. Not bad. The rest of it, I would ignore against cover 2. You can try to go to this other hitch, then you get that right there. So, again, just stick to the short side hitch and to your post with cover 2. Now what we can do is go against cover 3. Go slot hitches. Let's go a basic cover 3 is fine. Cover 3, it's back the same 2 routes again, to be honest. You could try to hit the post right there. That's a good defense, but he was open. We can try it again. There we go. A little bit better. Throw a little bit quicker. Or you could go to your hitch again below. That's just a terrible throw. Let's try that again. He was open. Makes his hitch. Great play there. Pick up 5 yards. You could try to go to the other hitch, but we got a good play there, but I've had more problems than success with it. You're just taking a chance. You're just much safer with the other hitch. Okay? Again, avoid the fades on zone. It's a one-on-one situation. You're just taking a chance. It's up to the safety or the corner, depending on who it is. It's up to you if you want to do it, but I think it's safer if you just go with the post and the hitch. Okay? Now what we have left is cover 4, and it'd be helpful if I pick the right play. Go back. We'll go slot hitches. I think, it's in here. Yeah, there we go. We'll go cover 4. Cover 4, it's usually the middle of the field that can really help you out here. As such, that's a terrible throw, but he was open. Sort of a center beater right there. To the left hitch. You could try to get to the post. Sometimes he can get open. Right there. Or you could go to the other hitch. That's your constant, your short side zone beater. Everybody, their brother is going back, so you'll have a lot more room to work with underneath. So if you see your 2 safeties, you can look right here. You see the 2 safeties going straight back, you know it's cover 4. If they were splitting apart, they would go cover 2. So whenever you see cover 4, think probably going short, because look, everybody and their brother on defense is like 15 yards back from the line of scrimmage. So you got this guy open, this hitch open. You can hit the post, and I wouldn't bother with the deep routes. Okay. Next, let's go to slot corners. I've ran this similarly. It's the one out of gun 5 wide you see me use quite a bit in the fun and gun offense. It's really no different. So let's break this down. Let's go here, and let's go up against a man. We'll go, we'll do the double spy. I guess that's probably good enough. Okay. Cover 0, you got technically 3 options, but you could do the flag or the post route. We could try the flag. He'll be just him and hit that defender. We can pick up touchdown here. You could try to go to the post here. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. And the reason why I bring that up is you notice we can put our cursor over the halfback. Notice this defender right here done a great job of shielding himself or putting himself between the halfback and the ball. Great defense right here. Sometimes you're going to see that. The reason why you see that is because look at the post route itself. The halfback does a little one step to the outside, then he does his post. It's not a straight line, then the post. It kind of takes himself out from being able to go underneath the player. You notice that he does it right there, but you're kind of taking a chance. You don't know what you're going to get with him there. Again, we'll look at this. You see right here, he's able to get underneath the defender. It's going to be about a 50-50 type of thing for you. Sometimes you'll see him do this. Sometimes you'll see him go to the other side of the defender. Just so you know, that's what you're probably going to expect there. Either way, it's a good cover 0 beater. And of course, we can do... triangle is not the best when it comes to cover 0 because you're running out of room. I mean, you can probably make a play, but I wouldn't bother against it. Now, one thing we can do, the reason why I didn't show cover 2 and cover 1 from earlier is because, I mean, if you can defeat man cover 0 with it, you can probably defeat anything with it, more or less. But we could go cover 1. Let's do dog gold. It's fine. You got cover 1. Man, I pressed the wrong play. Good job. All right, slot corners. Let's just do a cover 1. Okay, your only man beaters, and this is its weakness, is, be honest, is your post and your flag route. The hitches, I don't trust. See, we got cover 1. I like to go into the flag to the corner if I can. Make a good play there. That's a good cover 1 beater. The post is not a very good cover 1 beater. We can go to it. We can see what happens. It's kind of a double team situation. You're taking your chance there. But I would not bother with either hitch because you're going to get that situation. And the flag route on the right side. You could try cover 1. It's just going to be tough. He just runs out of room to work with. And that's cover 1. Cover 2 is no difference. We can do that. Press the right play. We'll go cover 2 man. Cover 2 man. Your post is a little more of an option now, I think. This play, not so much because the defender done a good job there. But that's kind of it. Cover 2 man is not very good here. So what I suggest, if you want to, since the man situations aren't the ideal, I would do some hot routing. I would hot route a useless route, turn them into a good route. So we can go back here. Our useless routes against man are our hitches. So what I would do is I would turn one of those hitches to a man beater. What I would do here, probably the easiest, is to turn square into an out. Okay, so we could do that. And then you got a decent man beater to work with. Good play there. So that's always a good rule of thumb that I have for myself is if there's not many good man beaters, I can always turn a bad route into a decent man beater via an out or an in or what have you. Okay? Now let's talk about zone. This play works a whole lot better with zone or against zone. Let's go against basic cover 2. Cover 2, you got your post, and I would go with your hitch on the right, and we could try the flag on the left. You see me do that a few times in the fun and gun. First, we could try to go to the post. No different than any other post. You can go here. Good play there. If you have the time, you can try to go to the flag route. It's just a one-on-one situation with a safety. That's a great throw, by the way. Or you can play it more safe and just go to the hitch on the short side. That's just a good defense. We'll try that again. See if we can end it on a high note. There we go. Pick up 7 yards. Okay. Cover 3. We can go here. There we go. Cover 3 is, again, it's still your post and your hitch on the right. And that's where it ends, to be honest. I can never make anything else work. But you can try to give it to your halfback over the top if you can make a good enough throw. Again, your short zone beater is always the better option. You can make a post route there. But against cover 3, it's usually much better to go to your short zone beater as is. Okay? And one thing I didn't mention it, but it should be obvious by now. Slot corners, to me, is a right hash play because of the post route. You can flip it, do it on the left, but he has more room to work with if you keep it on that side of the field. Okay, now we'll just go cover 4 again. If I can get to it, there we go. One thing you probably can do is, I don't know, I mean, cover 4, you could go to the post. That's a pretty good throw there. Other than that, of course, you always got your short side zone beater to get something out of it. But that's kind of it, really, in terms of this play. So it kind of up to you if you think this is a decent play. It's not a bad play. You could just probably make it a little better with another hot route or two. Okay? Next play. If I can get to it, there we go. Next is cross seams. This is a left hash play for me. Let me go back and go up against man. And if I can press, there we go. Let's do monster green is fine. All right, cover 0, you got 2 go routes. And if you just don't feel like going to either one, you go to your man beaters, which is your crossing route and your dig route. So again, you can go to your slot fade here. That's LSU Tiger, Joe Brady type stuff right there. You can go to the halfback on the other side. He's probably got a better matchup against a linebacker or a safety. Otherwise, cover 1, cover 2, you could go to the crossing route right there. Cover 2, cover 1, again, it doesn't matter. Cover 0 doesn't matter. Go to your dig. So to recap that, your 2 go routes are great against cover 0. Otherwise, just go to your crosser or your dig. I wouldn't bother with the hitch on the bottom. You just don't have a whole lot to work with there. Again, you throw it to him, he's just not going to get much out of it. Okay? So for zone, we'll do a cover 2. The only cover 2 beaters there really are is your hitch on the left. Okay? Now what you could do here, you call it a hitch, but you may not even get much out of it to begin with. What you need to do is kind of wait on it a little bit. And he doesn't get a whole lot out of it. So the reason why I bring that up is because as is, you can kind of tell this play may be best off as a left hash play. But it actually is a better right hash play. And here's why. We'll go back and we'll go back to cover 2. You notice from this angle, the only zone beater we really have is this guy right here, but it's tough for him to get any yards out of it. The go routes are tough. The cross route is only good against another coverage we'll talk about later, and the dig will hardly get open. But what you can do is go to the right hash, bring your little screen route over, and voila, you got a short zone beater with this guy right here. And then you can do more damage with it. At least I can get 5 yards out of it. So we can bring him back over if it's zone. And voila, we can go here, go to him, and he can get a solid 7 yards out of it. Not bad. Okay. Outside of that, that's your only good cover 2 beater. We'll go to cover 3. Again, not much different. Your only zone beater here is going to be this little hitch, but it's quick and it's efficient. I call it a hitch. It's probably something different. I mean, you call it a screen route. Very good pickup there. Nothing else really gets open. I forgot to move them over. But here's the one advantage you'll have is against cover 4. We'll go against cover 4 if I can find it. Since I know it's zone, I'm going to move him over to the right side. That gives me my safe zone beater. But cover 4, what we know is that's your most popular center beater type of coverage to beat. We have a center beater, and it is our crossing route. You'll notice here, over the center, you can get over the middle to the crossing route. Right there, big hole open over the middle, and he fumbles it. If you don't want to go to him, if you just don't feel safe or you're late to that play, of course, I'm going to throw this away. You need to bring this guy over. I keep forgetting, but bring him over against zone. If you don't feel like going over the center, you can always just go back to your screen, and he's got a whole lot of room to work with. Okay? Something to think about. Other than that, your zone options are limited, but they're a little bit better on the right hash, and as you can tell, this play is excellent for man. And while I'm on the right hash, here's the other little tidbit. If I was you, I'd probably get in the habit of moving this guy over every time. And we're going to show why. We're going to go here. We're going to go here. And we'll go up against cover 2 man is fine. They're going man, it doesn't matter. I'd prefer if you bring this guy over, if he can eventually get over there. The reason why is your crossing route has all this room to work with. If you leave that other guy over there, here's what can happen. Let's see if I can force this. That's the problem you'll have right there. Double teaming, more or less. If a corner is good enough, he can come over there and pick that off, and it's kind of double team, so I wouldn't bother. So in the end, just move your X receiver over. Okay? Next up, we have tunnel screens. I am not a big fan of this play, but we'll get through it. It's a mirrored concept, either hash. It doesn't really make a difference. We'll go up against man. Neither one works. You're taking a chance only because you don't have enough blocking for it to really work all that well. I'm going to the short side. You know, any screenplay you have, it's always best to go to the short side. You can try to go to the strong side. It's just going to be real tough. I'm just going to be honest with you. Again, zone, we can try it here. Here, we'll go here. We'll go cover 3. It's fine. These will work better against zone. At least they should. Maybe I can make a better throw. We're on the right hash. Again, I prefer you go to the short side. I don't know why I juke there. If you're on the left hash, you can go to the other one. That's not supposed to happen. Don't expect that to be a consistent thing. This guy comes right there and he shovels. I think it's funny when he does that. Either way, it's going to be tough. Again, only because you got one blocker on each side. Except for the right side, you do have extra blocker with the halfback. Just my personal opinion, you're probably better off on the right hash just because of that halfback giving it an extra blocker to work with. But even then, it's not the best play in the world. So just, you can practice on it, but don't expect much. Next up, deep fade. Maybe the best pass play in the formation. We'll go through them, though. I may change my mind. Deep fade. What are we looking at here? We got a go post on the left. Then you got like an inverted levels concept with the go on the back side of it. Anytime I see a go post, I want that on the short side. So what that means is it's a left hash play. Okay? We'll go up against a cover 0, and we'll put it on the left hash. Of course, you got your 3 cover 0 beaters. You got either go route. You can go to this guy over here. You can go to the other go route. And it's a straight go, so you don't have to wait too long to throw it. That's good defense there. Or if you see a good matchup, you can go over the middle to your post. Good play there. Otherwise, we can go ahead and do it now. We'll do a cover 1. Go cover 1. Your cover 1 beaters, I mean, you can take a chance. Here's why I don't do go routes against cover 1. That's why. It's a touchdown, but it's double teamed. That's a terrible situation. That's just good luck and an amazing throw around the back of the end zone. But against cover 1, I never bother with the go routes. Also, with its cover 1, I never bother with the post. He made a catch, but again, he was double teamed there. The safety could have made a play if he got there quick enough. So against cover 1, you got 2 options. You got your shallow over to your halfback, just a bad throw, or you can go to your dig route. Either one, you're good to go. Okay, those are good man beaters. All 5 routes are good man beaters in one way or another. Great man beater in general. Okay, now let's talk about zone. We'll go back to the play. Let's go cover 2. Now, cover 2, of course, you got your post over the middle. If you can get there in time, get a little throw there. You can go to the shallow as your other beater. Good throw there. The only problem is, I don't know if you noticed, it takes a while for the shallow to get over there. It's not the quickest shallow. It's quick, but there are quicker ones. It takes them a little bit. It takes, I know it's slow motion, but it takes them just a little bit. If for whatever reason you have a halfback that's not the fastest, or you just do not feel comfortable with that particular route as your main zone beater, motion that dig route over to the left side. Now you have an out route. It's a little bit safer. We can go here. Boom. A little bit quicker. He gets to the sideline quicker than the shallow ever could. So something to think about if you see zone. You can go back again, do it again right there. It should have been 5 yards. So that's cover 2. Cover 3. Cover 3, you can try to go over the post or go to the post. It's got to be real touchy. You got to be real spot on with your throw. But otherwise, you're going to go to the short side zone beater, which at default is your shallow. Or if you want to, you can motion your dig, making it out a little bit quicker. Give it to him, pick up 5 yards. Okay, that's your cover 3. Your cover 4, if I can get to it, let's see, there we go. Cover 4, again, anytime you see a cover 4, if you have a center beater, that's what we want to go after. We can try to go here to the shallow if we can. Oh, just a bare terrible throw. Come on, let's see. A little bit better. Just a center beater. You see that hole open up? You know it's probably cover 4. Pick up an easy throw there, but if you don't feel comfortable with that throw, you can always motion this dude over, and he should have some room underneath to pick up 7 yards there. Okay? Great play. Again, probably my favorite one of the formation, but let's keep going. Next, we got flat combo. I'm not going to cover this. It's a curl flat. It's a mirror concept, but you got another curl type route with your halfback. It doesn't really matter which hash you work it off of. We can go cover, let me try this again. We can go curl flat, and we go cover 0. The only downside to this play is you have no cover 0 beater. If it's going to be cover 0, you can hot route somebody to a go if you can. If not, you're stuck with the curl routes. That's the only downside to this play is the curl routes, they're good man beaters, but they can get picked off. We can try to go to 1. Good play there. He ends up getting a touchdown of it because the corner over pursued. You can go to the other curl if you wanted. Or that can happen, and that's what we don't want to see happen. Okay? The one over the middle, I'm not a big fan of either. Just take your chances. Sometimes that safety or that defender can get in front of the ball right there and make a play with it. He actually may be your safest man beater. The problem is somebody may be lingering over the middle as well. A defensive lineman may get his head or his hand to bat it down or what have you. So, man, you got your curl routes and your little hit, I guess you'd call it a curl, with your halfback, which may be a tad bit safer. Everything else, not so much. The only thing I can try to recommend, we can try this. We'll go back to it. If you see a nickel, if you're going up against nickel, we'll go against cover 0. That means a safety or a linebacker is going to be on the flat route on the left side. So we can go here and throw it as hard as we can, and we can pick up some yards with it. Okay? Drop back and give it to him that way. It's got to be quick. You've seen me do that a few times in the past from the gun. A little bit harder when in under center because you have to step back just a little bit. You can't throw it as soon as you get it. But there's opportunities there. Again, if you do it on the other side, it's no different. You can try to go to the flat on that side if there isn't a defender directly over him. All right, other than that, that's kind of it for man. Now we can go back here, and we'll go back to dime. We'll go against cover 2 zone. Your zone beaters, it's just you got one for cover 2, and it's just your short zone beater on this side, which is the short side, and that's it. You go up against cover 3, it is no different. I can prove it here. Your cover 3, there's not a whole lot underneath. You can just go to the short side. Your curls are not going to be open. I've tried it. Somebody's going to get in the way of it. As such, you don't want that to happen. But when it comes to cover 4, you got 2 options. Of course, it's cover 4. We got a center beater. We got the little halfback. Boom. Right there. Pick up a solid gain right there. But if you don't want to go to him for whatever reason, you always have your safety net in the short zone beater in the flat. Okay? Next up, post flares. This is probably my least favorite play of past plays of the formation, but we'll break it down. Okay? Let's go up against a cover 0. It's a mirror concept, but the reason I like it on the right hash is because that delayed route has more grass to work with going left. But it doesn't really matter at this point. You got 2 post routes, which is unbelievably rare in NCAA Football 06 to see 2 equal post routes on the opposite side facing each other. You just don't see it that often. But we have one here. They're your cover 0 beaters. The only problem is sometimes you get that problem right there. If you notice, everybody and their brother was around the ball by the time you threw it. There's 4 guys right there. 2 on 2, not a good situation. So your best cover 0 beaters are actually these two fade routes, L1 and triangle. These are actually fade routes. They're not flat routes. They're fade routes. We can go to L1. He's got more grass to work with. And you have this situation. Same on the other side. He won't have as much grass to work with if you're on the right hash. But you may be able to get something out of it. So those are technically your cover 0 beaters, are your fade routes. L1 and triangle. When it comes to cover 1, it's a bit of a pickle. We can go here. We go cover 1. Cover 1, I would probably go to this post right there. And even then, that's great defense. The only reason why I mention that is because I'm reading the one safety. Look right here. Which receiver is this safety closest to? Is he closer to that one or this one all the way over here? Obviously, he's closer to this one. So it just makes sense to try to go to this guy right here to avoid a double team. That's just good defense right there. So we can try it again. Since we're on the right hash, very good chance you'll be going to this post right there. Just a terrible throw. Okay? But that's kind of it when it comes to cover 1 man. There's just not a lot available there. We could try cover 2. Cover 2 is even worse. Who are you going to go to here? You can go to one of the posts if you got the time. And you got to hope, that's a decent play there. You just got to hope that post route comes underneath the defender. Otherwise, your only other option in man is your delayed route. The problem is, you may be waiting a little bit. What if he gets knocked down? Then he's out of the play altogether. That's the only downside to delayed routes. They take a little while, and that player may come down for whatever reason. So just something to think about. You got options against man, but they're not great options, if that makes sense. All right, now we'll go up against zone. This is where it gets even worse. Zone, this is kind of terrible. The only good zone beater when you're on the right hash is I'd probably go to the post right on the left. I see a soft cover 2. You can go, that's just a good play right there. Very lucky. We'll try to go over the middle to the post if we can. There we go, a little bit better. That's about your only option. Everything else, you can't go to the hitches. You can't go there. The others post, it's just tough. You're going to have that situation right there. So cover 2, you got your strong side post. Cover 3, I think you're even more of a pickle. You can go here. I don't know who to go to be honest. Maybe this guy right here. If you throw it quick, short zone beater. Again, cover 3 in general. Your short zone side of the field is your best spot to attack it for cover 3. Cover 4, over the center. Cover 2, right through here for drop back. Play action's a different story. We'll cover that in another video. But cover 3, I throw it quick to this guy right here. He can get up the field fairly quick, but that's about it. You got to time it, then you'll have situations like that. But cover 3, that is like your only option. And again, it's not the best option in the world. Cover 4, we'll probably go for a center beater, which I guess can be over the middle to our halfback, as long as he doesn't get knocked down or something. He may keep getting blocked. You just never know. It's not going to be the most consistent. That was just a duck throw. I don't know what that was. Again, you can go here and get something. So it's not the best play. It's one of my least favorite. It's very risky. I mean, you could kind of make it work, but it just you're taking a chance. Okay, next up, halfback bubble screen. I like to have my screens on the short side of the field. So for me, this is a right hash play. So we're going to go bubble screen, and we'll go up against a cover 0. Man, cover 0, you got your go route. You can also attempt to go to the slant over the middle. I mean, you can also go to the halfback. The problem you're going to have, and I'll show you this now. We'll go back to normal. We'll go back to the bubble screen. We'll go here. We'll go cover 0. Here's what you're going to have. You're under center on a screenplay. That means you have, like, no time to get anything off. I mean, you really have to try to do something here. So the reason why I bring that up is if you go back to the play itself, look where the blocking is at. Your right guard and your right tackle is blocking. They are going to move to the right side of the field, which means somebody's going to come through very easily on the right side. So what I would do is, we can see if we can pull this off. I would immediately go to the left side like this, and then go to your cover 0 beater. Again, I snap the ball and I'm immediately going to the left. I'm not using the speed button or anything, but I just moved to the left side, gave myself an extra second to do what I got to do. In this case, cover 0, we're going to go to the fade route up to the top. Of course, it gets blocked down, but that's a good play nonetheless. We can try it again, go to the short side and get it off if we can, just in time to do something. But again, you're taking your chances with it. All right, cover 1. Otherwise, just when in doubt, just probably go to the halfback there. We could do a basic cover. We'll do a spy gold. Again, I advise you to shift to the left. Even if you see a shift like that, I would move to the left a little bit. Cover 1, honestly, your best option is to go to your halfback, because if you try to go over the middle, you're going to have this situation. Sometimes the linebacker will be sitting there, and we got a slant coming that direction. This could easily get picked off. So, cover 1, the only option I recommend is to just go to the halfback as such, and hopefully you get good blocking as we do right here. Okay, cover 1, cover 0, cover 2. Just when in doubt, you may be better off just going to your halfback and pray for good blocking. We can try it again. Not much there. Now we can try cover 2. Sometimes you may have something over the middle to your slant. As such right there. Cover 2, there's a good chance no extra defender will be sitting here, which means you got this whole area to work with. Little slant. I've done a little medium press of the button. Nothing special. And I was able to get 5 yards out of it. But if you don't feel comfortable doing that, again, just run to your left and give it to your halfback and hope for the best, which isn't much in that situation. Now when it comes to zone, again, no different. Cover 2, just go to the screen, to your halfback. As such, you're going to have some decent blocking here. Hopefully, we can try it again. Better blocking there, but he got bogged down. Sometimes you may want to throw a little harder. As such, again, he gets bogged down. You're just taking a chance on that. Hopefully, he can cut up fit. I'm not using the speed button or anything. That's a little bit better. But you get some yards out of it. Okay, cover 3, no different. I'm not even going to bother touching it again. That's your only cover 3 beater to worry about is the halfback itself. Cover 4, we've covered this. It's a center beater. Do we have a center beater? Yes, we do. We can go to this guy right here. Okay? If you don't feel like going to him, by all means, just go to your halfback. Oh, that's a great play by the linebacker. We can try that again. And we can pick up some good blocking here for a good gain right there. So, kind of a recap. Pretty good play. You got a cover 0 beater at least. You got a slant that could be useful against man or zone. But your halfback can really get open in that situation. That's one of the true bubble screens in terms of your screen route actually going to the outside instead of coming in. Not a bad play for what it is, especially if you're under center. Biggest thing, though, is make sure you roll to the left a little bit before you throw it. Okay, next up is wide receiver outs. It is a mirrored concept, but we have a zig in on the right side. We need to find a decent short zone beater somewhere. So, for me, the best way to do that is to motion your zig in to the left. That means this is going to be a left hash play for us. So we'll go up against a cover 0. Let me change the type back. The skeleton. And we'll go cover 0. This is a left hash play for me. Man, this is a great man beater. You got 2 go routes that can beat cover 0. Out routes that could do anything. And you got a zig route that could do anything. You can move him over if you prefer to do a zig out. You can get in the habit of doing this if you want, if you feel safer with it. But again, zone is what I really wanted to show you. We go here. We go cover 2. Against zone, this isn't a very good play. It's amazing against man, terrible against zone. That's because certain routes only work against certain coverages. Go routes are usually best for man. Out routes on the outside receivers are only good against man. So the only zone beater you have, cover 2, 3, 4, all 3 of them, you move your halfback over and you go to the zig to the left side. Again, this is the only zone beater you need to worry about. The rest of them just don't work all that well. But you could get something out of that play at least. Against man, incredible. So what I advise, if you run this formation a lot, this could be a great audible play. If you see man, maybe you want to audible to a good man-beating play, there's no one better than this one right here. All 5 routes are killer. Okay, let's keep going. We're about done. Okay, out attack. Okay, as you can tell by the looks of it, we got a short zone beater in the flat route. Therefore, I want it on the left hash. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to go cover 0. We're on the left hash. All right, cover 0. You got 3 options. You got corners on the outside. We can go to either one if we can. You can go to him if you wanted. You can go to the go route, which is probably the easiest one to go to. This is the preferred cover 0 beater, but you can go to either corner as well. We can go to the other corner. He may be able to squeeze that in. Oh, good throw. Okay. Otherwise, cover 1, I would advise either corner route or the dig. Okay, we've already seen the corner routes. We can go to that. Pretend that's a cover 1. And we can go ahead. I'll try not to get lazy with it. Let's go back. We'll go cover 1. Cover 1, I prefer to go to one of the corners just because they're fun to throw for 2. Like that. Great throw there. You go to the other corner. I threw that a tad bit late, but he may be able to get that in. That's actually a decent throw. Or if you want to, you can try your hand at going over the middle to this dig. Okay? But that's it in terms of man. But it's 4 good routes, so I'm happy with that. Okay? Again, zone, you got a few options. We'll go cover 2. Cover 2 beaters, you technically have 2. You got your short zone beater, which can attack any zone. Or you could try to go to the corner route on the right side. It's a rollout. You see cover 2, you can move out a little bit and throw it over the top. No different than any other corner go combo to the strong side. You can go over here. Try to get it over the top there. If you're feeling the heat, if somebody's coming from that side, you just don't want to throw it there, always go to your safety beater, your safe out right here, which is the flat, and you can do damage there. Okay? Cover 3, your options are limited. All you really have, to be honest, is your flat route. Again, it can attack any coverage. Cover 4, if I can get to it. Cover 4, you don't really have any options. There's no center beater. What you can do, if you want to make use of things, you can try to turn, like, I don't know, maybe the dig into a slant. And you got a center beater, as such, like this. He can get open right there. Or you could turn R1 into a center beater with a little dig route or something. You got options there. But if you're not doing any hot routing whatsoever, the only option you have is the flat route. So, just keep that in mind. Good play, though. I like it a whole lot. It gives you a chance to roll out a little bit, hit the strong side post on the deep side, which is pretty cool. Okay, next up is twin slants. To me, this is a right hash play because the only real zone beater, short zone beater I see is the delayed flat route by your halfback. We'll go up against a cover 0. Against man, options are kind of limited. I mean, your cover 0, of course, you can go to the fade or the switch route right here. Or the wheel route. I'm sorry, it's the wheel route. It takes a little while for him to get open. The only downside is what you just saw right there. A little congested. This guy, if he was good enough, he could make a play there or something. So you're kind of taking a chance there with it. Okay. Outside of that, it's kind of iffy against man with this play. Not going to lie. We can go up against a cover 1. You could try this. I like the direct slant. It looks more like an arrow play or an arrow route. You could try to go to him, but it's tight. I'm here to tell you, you don't have a whole lot of... You can somewhat make it work, but it's not very consistent. You could try to go to this little curl right there, a little slant hitch. That may be your safest route against man. I just don't know how often that defender can get in front of it. Right now, he hasn't been able to get in front of the ball. So that may be your best option against man. Do that. So that actually isn't a bad play as long as it's not too crowded in that area. Just a bad throw. Otherwise, that's kind of it for man. You could try and wait for the delayed route to get open as such. But anything can happen. He may get bogged down. He may get blocked, get thrown to the ground. It's not always going to be there. Plus, it just takes a while for him to actually get open. So for man, either go over the top to the wheel, or you can attempt it with this guy right there. Okay. For zone, again, visualize where your holes are for cover 2, 3, and 4. Okay. Cover 2, what are our holes? It's over the middle of the deep side or the deep middle of the field, and it's your short zone beater, wherever that's at. So I don't see a middle of the field deep like a post strat or anything. So I don't know what your options are, to be honest, over the middle. There really isn't none. So the only thing I really suggest is to go to that guy right there. The problem is he's going to get covered. It's just not the best play in the world. And the reason why is because this corner has nothing to do but wait on that delayed route. He's got no deep ball route to go after as well. So he's got nothing to do but to stay right there and just wait for this guy to do something. So against zone, it's not the best. And it's no different against cover 3. So what I'm going to do is at least show you cover 4. If I can get to it. There we go. Cover 4, at least you have a center beater. As such, not the best throw. We can try that again. Get a little play right there. The only other option I can give you, to be honest, is you could take this guy over here and you could bring him over as a quicker zone beater. You could try to do that against zone. So we could try it against a cover 2. That'd be more common. So against zone, maybe you want to bring this guy over and take a chance and give it to him. The problem is you may come across that. It's just, again, that corner has nothing to do over there. So what you could do, the only thing that I can think of is I would hot route that deep slant to a go as such, and maybe things can get open as such. Notice how that corner, notice how this corner felt the need to go after the deep ball, the go route. He keeps backing up. Now you got a lot more room to work with down here. So, to be honest, against zone, what you may want to do, or man, is I would get in the habit of hot routing that deep slant. This deep slant, whatever, or it's a slant, whatever you want to call it. It's not very useful. It's not a good man beater. It's not a good zone beater, to be honest. It's a useless route. So you can at least make him somewhat useful. And regardless of man or zone, you may just want to have him go to a go route regardless. And that opens up for zone. That can give you an extra cover 0 beater. It gives you a few more extra options to play with there. So something to think about. It's an okay play, but you got to use a hot route or two to make it really work. All right, next up is a play that it's just not good at all. It is safety delight. I can't make it work because there's no short zone beater to rely on. It's a right hash play because that's the only way I can make it work, to be honest. We'll start off against cover 0. You got your post and you got your corner. What's cool about this play, I'll give it a little bit of credit. It's the only play that I can find in the game that's got a corner route from the slot. Usually your corner route is from an outside receiver, but this guy is coming from the slot. I like all the room he's got to play with. Otherwise, you can go to the other post, cover 0. It takes a little while for him to get open, but he can get some separation. You can try the flag on the right side, but you don't have a whole lot of room to work with, and you're just kind of taking a chance on what type of throw will be made. Only thing else you could do for man is maybe go to the shallow cover 1. You can go to this guy over here. This is probably my ideal cover 1. That's a good throw. And that's kind of it. At cover 2, I would probably just go to the shallow, but you can have problems like that. It's not a very good man-beating play. The corner route on the slot makes it work a little bit, but you're kind of taking your chances. Zone, it's actually even less, to be honest. We could try it. We'll go against a cover 2. Cover 2. It's kind of tight right here. I don't know. We can try that guy right there. That's going to be intercepted. That's just a terrible throw. I don't know who to go to be honest. We don't have a short zone beater on that side. It takes this guy forever. Normally, the reason why I have it on the right hash is because of the shallow. so he can go over to the short side. Problem is, he's got a lot of field to cover. Look at that. It takes him forever to get over there. By then, you'll probably get sacked or pressured. It'd be better if he was the slot receiver doing that. But you could get something out of it. But cover 3, cover 4, it's all the same thing. The only thing I do want to mention, if you attempt to do this on the right hash or on the left, you may have a chance against cover 2 to go to this guy, maybe. But that's kind of it, really. Again, one of my least favorite plays by far. Next up, we have skinny post. Another terrible play. It's a mirrored concept. We'll go over it. We'll just do it off the left hash. That's fine. I don't like those skinny posts. They can never get open. I don't like the separation. I can do this a few times over, but sometimes, I don't know. I was never a big fan of it. Now watch me do it like 8 times in a row here. You can take your chances, but that's kind of it. Your hitches, I don't know. You just take it a chance. Maybe a defender can get in front of it. This right here, I don't know. I don't like the spacing. That's the problem with the play. The spacing's terrible. All 4 routes are kind of like in the same 10-yard area. Not very good. And for zone, what you can do is we can do cover 2. Cover 2, you got a little hitch on the right. Maybe doable. The only problem is you don't have a whole lot of room to work with, and that's because this skinny post doesn't free him up for anything. Look how close they are. That's just terrible spacing. And the reason why he's open right there because I already threw it. There's not a whole lot of room to work with. You can try, I don't know if this will even work. You can try to move this guy over. Not even a good throw. We can try it again. He has a bit of separation. But there's not a whole lot of room to work with there. For cover 3, it's no different than cover 2. You got your short zone beater on the right side, whichever one you want to use. For cover 4, at least you got a couple things over the middle. You can go to the hitch, which is always going to be there, or you can attempt it to this guy right here over the center. Okay, but that's kind of it. I don't like the play because the spacing is terrible, but, you can somewhat make it work. All right, next up is halfback corner. We got a short zone. Technically, we kind of have 2 of them, but one's a little bit better than the other one. I think the play opens up so much better if it's on the right hash. We got a switch concept on the left. It needs a lot of grass to make it work. And we got a smash concept on the right. They always work better on the short side of the field. So this is right hash for us. So we're going to go cover 0. You got 2 cover 0 beaters. Basically, it's your 2 guys on the left. You can go to the wheel. You got to give him a little time to work with so he can kind of get away from that other guy. You can go to him, or you can try to go to the post over the middle. Maybe he can get something there. And that's kind of it. Your halfback's little flag rat's a little too skinny for my liking. You may be able to make it work, but it's not ideal. Okay, for cover 1, we can go here. Cover 1, about the only option I would suggest is probably your little shallow dig, whatever you want to call it. It's not really a shallow because you notice he takes a hard, sharp turn after about 5 yards. But you could get something out of it, but it's not the best in the world. And that's kind of it, really. You could try. We could try to do this. We'll go back to... okay, we'll do it from here. That's fine. You could try to go to your halfback against cover 1, but you just don't have a whole lot of room to work with. So that's kind of it. That's its biggest weakness with this play. It's not the best man-beater play in the world, but it's doable. It's a little bit better against zone. So we'll go with that. We'll go cover 2 zone. Your cover zone beaters, for me, it's your post for cover 2, and it'll be your hitch, your short zone beater. You got a big hole open over the middle. You can go to him. That's just a terrible throw. We can try that again. As long as he doesn't get bogged down by somebody, you can have this happen. Pretty good play there. You can pick up some serious yardage. But if you're feeling the heat or you just don't feel like making that throw, you can at least try to go to the hitch and get something out of it. Cover 3, again, the only real options you have, your best options, your safest options, are going to be your short zone beater. Again, it's just going to be your hitch. Everything else, you're kind of taking a chance on. At least you can get like 5 yards out of it. Everything else, just really not much else that can get open. You can try to go over the middle here to the post. It's a little bit different, a tad bit harder to go up against cover 2, but it's possible. Get a little play there. So, as you can tell, your zone beaters by far are your post and your hitch on the right. Cover 3 and cover 2 at least. Cover 4. Do we have a short zone beater? Yeah, or a center beater? Yes, we do. And it's our little, this guy right here. Just a terrible throw. We'll try to get into him again. Right there. Good play right there. Good center beater. But if you don't like going to him, you can attempt to go to the post over the middle. He may be able to get open. Again, it just depends on the pressure. Does he get bogged down by somebody? There's a lot of things that can happen there, but it's possible. Biggest thing to know about a strong side post, a backside post like we have here, technically you can attack any coverage in zone, 2, 3, or 4. I just showed you there, 2, 3, and 4. It works just fine. But when in doubt, you can always go to the hitch and live to fight another day. Okay. Last but not least is crosses. That is our last play. Crosses, to me, it would be so much better if that shallow was like a flat route. It would be a whole lot better. But our only good short zone beater is the shallow. It's going to the right. Therefore, I think this play works a tad bit better on the right hash. And we'll understand this why in a couple different ways. We'll go crosses. We'll go up against cover 0. Your cover 0 beaters, I mean, technically you can go to the post on the far right. You can attempt it on the flag. We'll go to the post here. Can he get any type of separation? That's a good spot to be in right there. You're going to try the flag if you want. But you may have that problem. You can see a double team. Otherwise, cover 1, cover 2, you can try to go to the comeback. Only problem is the dig, or the crosser and the comeback kind of go into each other. So the spacing isn't all that great. You got to time it right. Here, you notice, I threw it much quicker, like as soon as he made his move. Right here, I made the throw. See, I've already made the throw. And our crossing route is far enough away where he can't be in the way, if that makes sense. Otherwise, you can attempt the crossing route, probably the best safe man beater you have. Or you can attempt the shallow, although I think the shallow is a little bit better of a zone beater. Okay? For zone, we'll go cover 2. It's kind of tough. This is where you would prefer to be on the left hash because you have a post and you got, your scissors concept on the right side. But you got no short zone beater on that side, so you have no choice but to go here as your only safety net against zone. We can do it again. We can go to him and you can pick up some decent gains. It's safe. You probably won't get that picked off anytime soon. If you're on this side, hey, cover 2, it's great. You can go to the post. It's all, if I made a good throw, you can go to the post or you can go to the flag if you do a little bit of a rollout. That's a much better throw there. We can try a rollout. We can do this right here. See, he can get open. The problem is, what if you get pressured on that side? What if you get any heat? What if you got to get it off quick? Who are you going to throw it to? I have nobody on this side to go to. We don't want that to happen. There's just nothing there to work with. Plus, if you're on the left hash, your comeback route, it's an outie, not an innie. That's what I convert. If you go to like gun, halfback circle, or gun 2-back slot, halfback circle, that comeback route, the receiver goes to the inside of the towards the field, then he makes a comeback. This guy cuts outside at the beginning, and then he does a comeback. If it was the other way around, a.k.a. an innie, it would probably be a little bit better against man. The problem is he doesn't have as much room to work with, and you have that problem right there. He could get picked off or swatted down. That's why, again, I think it's best as a right hash. Just because you have this as a constant, it will always be there for you. The shallow route. So something to think about. Cover 3, it's just your shallow route again. But for cover 4, we do have a couple of center beaters. You can attempt the shallow. You can go to him if you want. Good play there. We may actually get 6 points out of that. Or you can go to the crossing route if you can. Sometimes they'll go in between each other. You may not be able to get to them in time. You can get something like that. It's just a bad throw. We can try it if we can complete it. Again, and it ends up going to him. I was going to try to go to the crossing route. So, in summary, the shallow is your safe bet for zone. That's why I think it works just a tad bit better. Off the right hash, plus your comeback route on the left side has more grass to work with against man. Your crossing route has more grass to work with, all that good stuff. So something to think about. Okay, that is all of them. Let's just go over these one more time really quick. Let me go back to practice type and normal. All right, slot hitches, pretty good play. Not the best against man. A little bit better against zone, but otherwise I love the spacing. It's pretty good play. QB draw, just don't abuse the speed button. You can make some plays with it there. And let the computer handle the drop back portion of it. Slot corners is really no different than slot hitches. It's like a reverse in a way. It's a whole lot better against zone than man, but you can make it work. Cross seams, you can work off either hash, but sometimes you may be better off working off the right hash by moving square over, and that's a nice little zone beater. It opens up your crossing route, but as you can tell, it's a much, much better man-beating play than a zone. Halfback option, it's great when the blocking is there. The problem is you cannot flip the direction of the run, so it is what it is. But you can sprinkle it in every now and then. Tunnel screens, I'm just not a huge fan of it. I recommend you go to the right side and use it as a right hash play just because your halfback could be your extra blocker in that situation. If you wanted to, I just now thought of this, you can take that other blocker on the left side and motion him over to the right side. That gives you a third blocker. So that's something to think about. Fade, deep fade, maybe the best pass play in the formation just because the spacing is incredible. All 5 routes are great against man or zone in some way, shape, or form. Speed option is no different than halfback option, except you got a little less time to do what you got to do there. Again, you can't flip it. It is what it is. Curl flat combo, it's a good little West Coast concept, but it's still a good little play overall. You just may need to hot route somebody if you need a cover 0 beater. Post flares, I'm just not a huge fan of it. There's not a good short zone beater to work with, kind of. I mean, you can deal with those fade routes in a way and treat them as short zone beaters, but I don't know. I mean, you can probably make it work if you practice it enough. That's the one play. It's like an enigma. Maybe you can make it work better than what I'm thinking. I just need to probably use it more, but as of now, I'm not a huge fan of it. Halfback bubble screen, it's good for what it is. Used off the right hash, and at least you got a cover 0 beater and a center beater on the left to complement it. Wide receiver outs, incredible man-beating play. Just not all that good against zone. Out attack, not a bad play in general. It's a really good safety beater in terms of you can really attack your safeties. Man zone, it's probably like my number 2 favorite pass play in the formation. Good little left hash play. Twin slants, I'm not a fan of it. You'll have to do some hot ratting with circle to really make it work to open it up. Safety to light, again, the only downside to this, it takes forever for the shallow to get open to the right side as your short zone beater. Otherwise, that slot corner route, I love it. It's excellent. Skinny post, I don't like it. The spacing's terrible. And the skinny posts are inconsistent, especially against man. It's just not a very good play in general. Halfback corner, good little zone beater in general. You can get attack cover 3, 4, and 2 pretty well because you got a backside post that can attack all 3. You got at least one center beater, and of course you got your hitch to make it work. It's just not the best against man. And crosses, at least you got your shallow to go to the right side. Otherwise, it could have worked a little bit better. It's not my favorite play, but it's doable. Okay. Hopefully that was helpful in some form or fashion. There's a lot of cool, unique stuff in here. By all means, if I've learned anything playing these games, you work on a play enough, you can make it work. And I can, one way or another, make every single play work in some form or fashion. A lot of cool stuff in here if you want to fool with it. One thing, if I ever want to do like an under center, old school run and shoot, this would actually be a staple formation for me because you got an offset halfback. That's kind of how the original run and shoot was. I can see myself doing that, or if I ever want to attempt the 5 wide offense, or the high 5 is what I called it, I would definitely be using this formation quite a bit. Otherwise, it's got some decent stuff in it. Try it out. All right, guys. I'll talk to you later.